next one we're gonna do Kaiju number 8. What chapter we're on?
15.
15.
It's already 15. I don't know. I'm loving this series. To be honest, I think if it's kind of interesting actually if you look at the 3 out of the 4 things that are being reviewed are kind of all more in the monster category.
It is.
Than, kind of traditional, I guess more traditional of hero and bad guy from, if you look at something like Hunter x Hunter, I guess there's Chimera ants.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll stick with some of the more, we'll go with like a classic, like, Dragon Ball Z. It's always like aliens. Like, yeah, they're monstrous people, but they're not actually like, monsters themselves. Meanwhile, Jujutsu have like curse monsters, curse creatures. These are creepy looking things. You got Chainsaw Man, all of these, these devils, these demons. These are creepy looking things. And then you come to the Kaijus, and these are also like creepy looking things. So it's just it's kind of interesting. It's right around Halloween. There's
Halloween's past by the time this goes up.
Well, that's true. That's true. But the day of the release is the day after Halloween. So yeah, I don't know. It's I'm loving Kaiju number 8 so far. I'm not usually a fan of actually kaiju stories. I'm not a big Godzilla fan. I'm not a big Mothra, all that type of stuff.
Really, I actually enjoy stuff like that. I actually enjoy like monsters.
Like, I've never seen Pacific Rim.
You're a madman, bro. It's an awesome movie. I mean, obviously you know this, but like I love like mechs or like giant mechs in general. So like if there's a cool monster to fight, then yeah, and if the design is good, then yeah, I enjoy it. And like going.
No, I'm not that type of guy though. I don't know, which is why. Excuse me, sorry. That's why for me, Kaiju number 8 is so great because it's they're using a suit. It gives them kind of superpowers, so you get a little bit of physical combat.
Yeah.
Especially with obviously Kefka as the main character, because I mean he literally becomes like humanoid kaiju. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of like gun action, so you get that type of stuff, and then they mix in a teensy bit of I guess powers, if you will. If you look at the way the captain shot the huge.
That's true.
Things, yeah, like she just obliterated that huge kaiju in like 2 chapters ago. So there's a little bit of kind of everything for everyone, and then you got your kaijus, or these giant things, as the total bad guys. So I think this series it's very broad in terms of being able to grab a lot of audiences, because I'm way more into I guess like the hand-to-hand combat. I'm not a big mech guy, but you get a person who can use a giant rail cannon. It's not really a mech, but it's like a mech-sized weapon.
Yeah,
so it kind of almost works. You feel me?
I understand. It's futuristic Monster Hunter. I know.
There we go. That's So it's been a great chapter read so far. This is kind of, I guess, the very first big incident that's being dealt with since he came into the academy.
Yep.
And I think it's a good one so far. I mean, they're not doing anything crazy. I think for me, the big thing that kind of segued from this chapter to last chapter is the reveal of this other humanoid kaiju, who's also surprisingly in the in the cleanup crew that Kefka used to be in, or Kefka.
And I'm curious, like, okay, like what, like, have they always talk? You know what I mean? Like, why can this one talk? You know what I mean? So I'm interested. Like, eventually we'll find their goal. What's their goal and stuff like that. I do like his design. I think it's pretty okay. I don't think it doesn't blow my mind, but I like it. It's okay. It's creepy enough. It's like flat head. I'm actually hoping. One thing I really liked about Pacific Rim, or like any Pandra, or like I want to see even similar to like Ultraman. Like the monsters have names, or like the humans give the monsters names. So like in Pacific Rim, the monsters, the humans give the monsters names, or like the kaiju names. Like there's like I'm trying to remember, like there's like Knife Head and stuff like that. So I'm actually curious, like I wonder if they'll give this guy a name. Like right now I'm
sure this would be 9 or something, because the whole reason Kefka gets called they don't I guess have names yet, or maybe some of them do, but they're not being specified.
Yeah.
But currently there seems to be I guess 1 through 8 on a high priority list.
Yep.
And number 8 is Kefka, obviously, like hence the name. But for anybody who might not be reading it and just checking it out, Yeah, so maybe it could be just number nine. It's as simple as that, or maybe it's one of the eight, and we just don't know because we've actually never seen a catalog of what that. I
That's
guess the
true.
previous seven are.
That's
So
true.
that could be. There's that possibility too. Um, I guess the question that kind of my head's been at more recently though is he a kaiju that can turn into a human, or is he like Kefka and he's a human that turns into a kaiju
Ah, that's
and
good.
like he just became evil? They haven't like that's not been touched on.
I think it's a kaiju that could turn to a human.
You think so?
I think so, because the way he talks.
Yeah, I guess it is a little funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's ah, yeah. I'm looking through some of the panels. I guess on page nine, he's like, right, radio communication.
Communication.
Yes,
Yes.
already got that covered. So, yeah, there is something odd about this.
Like he's
You're
learning
right.
new information, like kind of like like okay, this is what humans use, this is what they have and everything. It's kind of funny. I'm curious like how but I do know what you mean. There's like 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 it's very much like a gunfight. It's not just all punching. So they could definitely go places with it. Like I said, I like his design. They don't have a name for him yet, so I'm hoping they call him like Flat Top or something like that, or Flathead. I mean, I'm calling him Flathead because like look at that.
He looks more like a fungus to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I can
He
understand
looks
that.
like a giant mushroom cap to me.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Especially with like the bubbly hands and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's kind of the impression that I get.
like the spores and stuff like that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah. So,
But
his design, his character design is also just really weird. Looking at it, like that scene where he's just staring at them after
Yeah.
he gets kind of confronted. Like, oh, I mean, yeah, they just made him super super creepy.
yeah,
I think the thing that I'm kind of pumped about is we get to see a little bit more development of, I guess, our secondary character,
hmm
which is pretty cool. What the heck is his name again?
Reno.
Reno?
Or
Oh,
Reno.
yeah. Reno, yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, I kind of love it. Just, we've seen his potential, I guess, in kind of spare panels mostly.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, oh, I've gotten 8% out of my suit now, and he kind of just takes a couple shots or something like that.
hmm
And the whole time, Kafka's kind of been in the background, so there's always been that kind of safety net.
Yeah.
And I mean, he is here now, but I like that it's definitely going to give him a little bit of a time to shine because they kind of talked about it as soon as I guess this kind of part of the arc, or maybe this arc, I'm not really sure. Came up where they're going into battle, he's like, oh, I switched to freeze rounds instead of burst because it works better for my style. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Well, let's see what he's going to be able to do with that. And then they actually give you a breakdown of kind of all of the different options there are for the technology that they've created because
Yep.
of Kaiju. So that was kind of cool too.
And,
It's
I'm definitely curious how the story is gonna go because I mean obviously I feel like we're obviously gonna see more monsters and and other characters from like the division, and I'm hoping like more division members like shine because it's just like I just have the main character and then his like his friend so who's like I guess he's like 19, and I do like the dynamic between like the main character, he's like an older fella, or like well, he's in his 30s, so he's not like your typical
he's not your typical hero, that's for sure.
yeah, he's not your typical like I'm a 17-year-old boy and it looks like he's about to crush the whole building in half, but yeah.
Or your middle schoolers in like Captain Tsubasa and
Yeah.
they're jumping off of like nets and stuff like that.
Hey man, that's real. People could do that. I mean, I don't know middle scooters, but hey, if you control the center, you control the universe. Remember that.
Oh my lord, yeah. Oh, I've heard that once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though. They've got the one female. What the heck's her name? She's got the crazy family. She's trying to impress everybody. She's not
Yeah.
currently in this fight. It's actually kind of surprising. I was actually really not expecting us to get that much development for that particular character as quickly as we did. But I guess it's kind of like working as a rival.
Yeah.
Which is always.
And I guess you have to because like there's a lot of a few chapters ago, a lot of when the training cadets were like starting and stuff like that. A lot of characters did get introduced, so maybe we'll see some shine, like I said before, when like this kaiju attack is happening, because this is like literally after their training, isn't it? Like, or like they got accepted in.
Yeah, so this is basically
Like
a
the
couple weeks, I guess, into the into their what do you want to
division.
call it? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Their jobs, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know their service. I don't even know. Sorry. So for this event to kind of hit so quickly, that's been pretty surprising.
But yeah.
Man, sorry. I'm also just kind of browsing through older chapters as well, real quick, because I'm just like, man, we didn't really get to touch on any of this.
Well, like I said before, we can always do an edit. I can always do you can always do an editorial, and if you want to like really write something down, I can always like edit it and stuff like that, so we can have another video out. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I think in that case then, just to kind of, I guess we'll go into My Hero.
Okay.
Well, sorry, I'll give final thoughts and then we'll go to My Hero.
Yep.
I've really been enjoying this series so far. Like I said, it's kind of got just enough to grab anyone. The art's been really fantastic. The fighting's also been great. I've kind of spoken about how sometimes I feel like you can get lost in reading certain series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is another one of those that
Simple.
you don't kind of, it's very straightforward.
Yep.
You know, it just happens kind of thing. So I love that about it. I'm really looking forward. This is something that I definitely want to see pick up some steam because it's a series I don't want to see canceled. And we know how strict Shonen is about running things.
Yeah, like Shueisha back. Yeah, if it's not popular enough, gotta kick the boot. But I'm also well, I'll give my final thoughts too. Yeah, I really enjoyed the series. It's simple to get into. We don't get that many much like if you want to call it kaiju stuff. You know what I mean? Aside from like, I mean, there's kaiju manga for sure out there. Like, but if you're talking about Shonen Jump, there really isn't. Not that I can think of. Like, there's no Godzilla-esque type of thing. You know, yeah, there's like monsters, you know, or like nine-tailed beasts or whatever. But that's kind of different. I would say. But yeah, I enjoy the art. It's pretty simple and it's pretty easy to follow when it comes to that. I mean, again, it's super early to get on. So like 15 chapters in, you know, hopefully people will like it. So that's basically one volume and a half right now. An interesting note, we talked about this before and you probably forgot. He works, what is it, every 2 weeks, and then the third week is just colored pages.
Oh no, yeah. So it's literally it's a 3 weeks I guess out of a month, if you will.
Yeah, so we got 3 weeks, and then a break.
There's a week off.
Yeah, which is an interesting thing. I don't think I've seen before. Where like, what kind of deal he worked? I mean, I'm pretty sure we could Google it, but if we can't, like what kind of deal did he work with Shueisha? Where like he could, okay, I'm gonna work for these 3 weeks, and then the other one. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still working on his off week, so to speak.
Oh, of course.
Working on the story.
Like, no, you're definitely right. Because you know if you're reading it on Shonen and Viz and stuff like that,
we're like, okay, we get our chapter. Yeah.
And then there's a couple of color images from previous covers and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and it's sick. Like if you go to 14.1 and you check out the second image, that's the cover from chapter 8 colored.
Yeah.
And tell me that's not crazy. That looks so good. And
It does.
It's just a colored panel, so it goes to show well, not just a colored panel, but
Yeah.
it goes to show the quality of the panel before colors even added.
Yeah.
That it looks that great when it's colored.
So I am curious, like how is this like getting published, even in Japan too, where it's just like does he just publish every 3 weeks and then he does the coloring for like the cover pages, or I'm curious, like, and how, like, why they gave him a deal? Like, has he done previous work? Because I honestly haven't looked into the name. But
no, and maybe that's something that we should do.
But other than that, I like the design. I like his kaiju form too. I'm pretty sure it's gonna evolve. His kaiju form will evolve eventually. So, it reminds me of Ultraman in a different like sort of way.
If Ultraman looked a little evil.
Yes.
Well, I guess you mean in terms of though it's very simple.
Yeah.
It hasn't been too crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's basically a muscle suit with a crazy head.
Yeah.
So I get you. It's very clean in that nature for sure.
But yeah, that's my thought on Kaiju No.8. We're definitely gonna keep reading it until it gets an anime. So.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Cool. On to My Hero.